Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDO44 coming at you with another video. Try to stay away from certain topics these days. If you follow me, you know that in the past, particularly last summer, when the thick of the Black Lives Matter movement, in the thick of all the stuff that was going on socially, I was very active in speaking on that stuff. And sometimes I said some things that, when I listened back to them, didn't paint me in the light that I would want to be seen in your eyes. But at the same time, I left every last one of those videos up because I wanted to keep the points that I wanted to make in those videos, as well as to show myself growing as I go along throughout this life. No different than keeping a journal, going back to it 20 years later. So if you happen to see some of those videos and they offend you, it was not my intention to offend people, but I was in bad spirits some of the times when I was speaking because I felt a personal connection to some of the things I was talking about. This is one of those topics here. Growing up in Los Angeles, California, I have always, always been comfortable around Spanish-speaking individuals, people of Hispanic origin, just people who speak Spanish, period. It's always been something that has been dear to my heart. Some of the most important households that I ever found myself in happen to be households where that heritage was prevalent. And I was treated great, treated wonderfully. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody who looks like me was treated great by everybody that looked like them or what have you. That's not the conversation at all. It doesn't even matter about that. The point is, you understand, while I'm passionate about being fair and being compassionate toward them, okay? It's a personal thing for me. Had I grown up in an area where was none of them there, I don't think I'd feel this way. Had I not been able to share in the culture, eat some of the food, hang out, watch some of the shows that they watch, just be enriched as far as I can from the outside looking in anyway. Living in neighborhoods where this is their neighborhood, that kind of thing. You know, I've always been comfortable in those situations. Some of my best friends, mothers, their households, coming in and out of those places, I felt at home. I felt safe. I felt taken care of. As a small child. And in certain situations, I was left unsafe. I had situations that happened where I was not safe. Those people never were them. They were never Spanish speaking individuals that did me like that. For whatever it's worth. That's what I have to say before I go into the next part of this. The second part I want to say is I am not knowledgeable as to what the actual threats are in regards to immigration. I don't read up on that stuff. I'm just ignorant. So the threats that America is facing, the concerns that America faces, the concerns of particularly a middle America and that mentality, the nationalists, their concerns in regards to these people, I will never understand because I've always lived around them. I've always felt comfortable around them, and I've always had them as arm's length from me. I can go outside right now and speak to somebody of Spanish origin. I can go to my apartment right now and walk past several homes where people live that way. It's LA, baby. It's what it is. This wouldn't be LA without Mexicans. You know what it is. Tupac told us a long time ago, and live and die in LA. So with that being said, I don't know what the concern is for somebody who say lives in like Utah, where there's no Mexican people anywhere in the vicinity of them, but they're so afraid of people coming from different places, and the only thing they want to converse about is people who are coming from these places who are doing wrong, who are trafficking, who are trying to make a way, who maybe even not have the right intentions. Yeah, there's bad people everywhere. You can go to Africa, find a bunch of bad guys. You can go to Europe, find a bunch of bad guys. You can straddle all over the country, this country, and find bad people. So you're gonna find bad people there too. You're gonna find horrible people places. Just straight devils in every walk of life. You're gonna find good, bad, and indifferent. Okay, which is why balance and fairness is so important and compassion is so important. Because if we only focus on the bad, you're also pushing out the good. If you're only focused on those who are willing to take from you, you're not giving credence to the possibility of those who would give to you. You're not looking at anything that they bring to the table that can be helpful because you're too busy trying to protect yourself of what it is that you think is a threat. And that is the problem that I have with our approach to immigration. I understand that you have your laws in place for reasons that are above my pay grade. So I'm going to assume that those reasons are explainable, and that if I were to have a conversation with somebody who can explain them to me, I would understand all of the different risks of leaving your borders free. Okay? I'm just ignorant there. And I'm not telling you to do something that would leave our country in ruins or leave our country in a bad space. But what I am saying is the way we go about treating people in this process is not fair. First of all, you make it very difficult for them to get citizenship. Sometimes it takes upwards of 25, 30 years to get your citizenship. So this mindset of a lot of people who argue this point rarely find it in their hearts to suggest solutions. They only want to get rid of what they deem as the problem, which is something that I think is it's a flawed way of thinking. If you can't provide solutions, but you can only see the one side of it that's negative, chances are you're neglecting the entire responsibility of your perspective as it pertains to having a decent scope on what it is that your opinion is. So that's something that's important to me. And again, a lot of times it's like you don't know. You know, a lot of these people are sitting around a bunch of people that look like them. They agree with one another. They nod each other's head and they look at whoever they're against, and then they just automatically form their opinion based on the fact that people next to them agree with them. But I can tell you, I've been in rooms with people who all agree, and then we all find out we were wrong, and then we agree to that we've learned. So it's like, if we can't leave credence for what it is that we don't know, if we can't leave room for what it is that we are not aware of in terms of culture, in terms of people's intentions, then chances are we're going to find ourselves in positions to be wrong 9 out of 10 times. You're going to simply just be incorrect in some of your assessments. And that is what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at a lot of people online in various conversations that I've seen online, particularly where they're talking about the horrible crash that took place here this year, very recently to now. It was about 2 weeks ago, where I think it was 25 people were packed into some type of SUV, and it got into a very, very bad car wreck, and half of the people in that SUV perished. It's like 25 people, and like half of them did lose their lives. So, the first thing most people thought was, either this is human trafficking or something involving individuals crossing the border. And unfortunately, the details are coming out. It's looking more and more as if that's the case. And of course, when that happens, and you start seeing people online in random forums blaming whomever. And most of the time, what I'm seeing is nationalists. You know who they are, and they're blaming Biden, naturally. And then you have other people who are sitting there saying, well, they blame the families. Had the families heeded our laws, they would have been safe. But my thing is, your laws are the reason why they had to pack 25 freaking people into an SUV and try to run through you're putting people, America, in unsafe situations. The circumstances they are leaving are no different than any circumstance from a person migrating from one place to the next. The reason why it's considered illegal is because a bunch of you bigoted MFs have deemed it illegal. You've decided that you don't want these people over here, even though you kicked them out of the land in the first place. This is their land. We're living in their land. California is Mexico. You and I both know that. And a lot of times when you bring up the wrongdoings of these people's forefathers and the wrongdoings of my forefathers, because I have a lot of Caucasian in me, when we start bringing up those wrongdoings, it's like they don't want to accept that these are wrongdoings. It's like we've given ourselves passes for so many things that we've done wrong, to now when we start vilifying others for doing those same things, we can't identify that those wrongdoings are the foundation from which we are built. Like, we can't identify that. And that is wrong. That's wrong in and of itself. And I always say, when we talk about these type of individuals, one thing that they always lack, and I said this in some of them videos that I was referring to at the beginning of this video, one thing they always lack is self-awareness. For whatever reason or another, they don't, within their communities and within the people to the left and right of them who agree with them, they can't seem to see the hypocrisy in their actions, the harm that they cause, and the fact that they are receiving so much fear in their hearts that make them feel like they need to protect from others. Is because they've been buttholes toward people deserving that energy. Had they been compassionate and nice, they wouldn't have any reason to be paranoid, because you wouldn't have so many enemies looking to get back at you for treating them like buttholes. Okay? So that's the thing that I have a problem with in regards to the foundation, or the spirit rather, of how this country tends to approach this particular conversation. It's like there's no compassion. There's no self-awareness as it pertains to the same laws that you're telling people not to break are the same ones you broke in order to be in the situation in the first place. Now that you've broken all your laws, set your foundation for how you're going to rig the game so that you have all the money and have all the power and have all the rights to tell people who can come and who cannot. Now you get into a space where you lose sight of the fact that it's your actions, your rules, your vilifying of people who really haven't proven themselves to be good or bad or otherwise in your eyes. You're just simply vilifying them because they're from over there. Okay? Which is the same thing you vilify my people for when we be mad at our ops over there. It's the same thing you vilify other countries for fighting with each other for thousands of years because they don't get along with them over there. See what I'm saying? It's hypocrisy within all of the stuff that America tends to stand on and put their flag on. It's a whole lot of hypocrisy because the truth of the matter is America broke every law that they've set for others not to break in order for this thing to stand. So my thing is, how about we start accepting that, give light to that, start giving the truth out to ourselves saying, yo, we are not the greatest of people. We don't put out the right energy. As I've already said, we are paranoid because we've been bad toward others, been bullies toward others, been unfair toward others, been lacking compassion toward others. That's why we're paranoid. That's why we have to have the biggest army. It's because we've gone around and done wrong to everybody, anywhere. And we've done some good too, but not enough to make it so that people don't look at us as the big bad wolf out here, for which we are. America, we are. And I'm of the mindset where, look, I look around and I say, well, you're trying to vilify my friend because he came across the border. That don't make no sense to me because San Diego, Tijuana is close. When I say it's close, it's like 3 hours away. I can drive up north for 5 hours and go to Oakland, no trouble. But if I drive 3 miles down, suddenly I've broken a law? How does that make sense? These are things that we've accepted. These are norms that are not normal. Things that we've accepted and have just nodded our head, looked to the left, looked to the right, seen the people over there, they agree, so we agree, and it's all right. No, that's not all right. You all are agreeing with something that is wrong. You're all agreeing with something that is going to ultimately leave us without good energy coming our way. You know, we talk about karma in life. People talk about, oh, you get out what you put in what you get, you get back what you put in, all that good stuff. But what we put out toward these people particularly is wrongdoing. We don't care how your lifestyle is over there or that you have dreams about coming over here and making a lifestyle better for yourself. We don't care that you got family over here already that you miss, that you can't wait to see, that you probably can't make enough money to send over here or vice versa. They can't make enough money to send over there. So you're better if y'all work together as a family to try to build. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is keeping their comfort zone as American traditional as possible and their country be their country and everybody else just stay over there. We know we're sitting on a plethora of riches. We know we're sitting on a plethora of resources. We know we have various places like LA and Miami that have great weather and things that people want to go to. We know that there are opportunities here that you can't find everywhere else. And we have obviously no desire to help our friends over there. We're not going to improve their circumstances so that their people don't feel like they need to come over here to receive these type of resources. It's not like we're going to go to Mexico and say, hey, how about instead of trying to build walls to keep your people from coming over here, how about we invest in your infrastructure, invest in your educational system, invest in your health system so that when your people come over here, they got all that we got. If they come over here, they don't necessarily find stuff that's that much better because your stuff is good. You think people want to leave their country? They have to leave their country because a lot of times their countries are in situations that are not good. Even though we're not where we need to be, we have a better situation. But the problem with us is we're so fearful that if we let people in, it's going to take away from us that insecurity that comes with being a nationalist in this country. It's just an insecurity because you know you've been an asshole and you know you deserve the worst of things, but you're not ready to look at yourself. So you know that karma's coming your way, but you're not quite there yet in terms of being able to say, well, it's my actions that are causing that. So you're going to blame everybody else for the roadblocks that you put in front of them and how things fall apart around those roadblocks when they try to jump over those roadblocks. Now it's like, okay, well, if you would have just followed our rules. You made the rules impossible. Who got 25 years to be waiting to go through the process so you can give me some paperwork to say you're okay? Who are you to tell me I'm okay? You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. It's not like this was your land from the beginning. This is not China. You weren't here for 5,000 years. You came over here, you brought your guns, you shot some people, you told some lies, you just wiped away culture. And then you put your flag down here and suddenly said, all right, now from this day forward, anybody who does what we did, it's a problem. I'm sorry, but the universe does not work that way. You've been able to manipulate the universe for 400 years, and it's really been working for you. But I'm here to tell you that you're going to get all of that back. You're going to get it all back. And just like I said in the forum, you're going to wish you treated them people better. Those are not bad people down there. Take it from somebody who was raised around individuals from those areas. Those are not all bad people down there. There's a lot of amazing individuals who we are pushing away because they don't have the right paperwork. A lot of hardworking individuals who we are pushing away because they don't have the right paperwork. A lot of doctors and lawyers and entertainers and people who can provide so much to our country. And we push them away and we don't give them no education. We vilify them for the ways that they are forced to make it. You know what I mean? With what little that they have in this fixed, rigged world. And then you vilify them for not having better when you have plenty, but you ain't sharing. It's just awful, man. It's awful. And I'm not saying that my country's horrible. One of the reasons why they want to come here is because we do have these opportunities. But these opportunities come from the mixture of people who are both putting out good energy and unfortunately those who are like the nationalists who could care less about anything that doesn't look like them or seem like them or think like them. It's like we can't be around anything that isn't like us, for which I don't agree with at all. I've never been that way growing up in LA. I've never been that way. I think this world is a much better place when more people can share. I do believe that. You know, I think this is a much better place when more people are educated. I think it's a much better place when more of the wealth is divvied out. I think we have less worries when more people are doing what it is that they're passionate about, rather than trying to jump through hula hoops to live up to the nationalist way of living in this country. Got to kill ourselves for 16 hours of work so that we can make half the pay that we deserve, so that we can then go off and be consumers and then find ourselves in a situation where we can't get out of debt. This is the hole that they've placed us in, and so many of us are just doing this, looking over here doing this, looking over doing that, and then just going off with the bull crap that just never did make any sense. Just a bunch of people agreeing because they were too lazy of thinkers and too indecent of human beings to do otherwise. I'm over it. I'm over it. This is a new type of American here. I want my Mexican brothers and sisters close to me. I want to make sure that they're safe. I have no interest in putting them in positions to feel ostracized or outcasted because they come from over there. I think that is flawed thinking. I think we're better if we work together no matter who we are. And the more people who are educated, the less room for ignorance, the less room for things like racism and isms of all kind. Because most of that stuff is built from folklore in your household and just flat out ignorance. We can do away with some of that stuff by instilling education in each and every individual. Then we could take those cultures that we have, put them together, and make something more brilliant than anything we've ever seen. But as long as we're continuing to separate people because of reasons that don't really have anything to do with the merit of their actions or their heart, then we're going to continue to find ourselves in positions to have bad karma coming back our way in ways that we cannot see, from angles that we can't protect from. This is what's coming, America. You thought Texas freezing over was just happenstance? Karma gotta come for y'all somehow, baby. Y'all been doing wrong for too long. And y'all sitting on your high horse continuing to worship your madmen and your crazy celebrities. It's going to come to a close. Because it has to. It's just like a boomerang effect of any and everything. You put that evil out, you best believe it's coming back your way. And you ain't got a big enough army, you ain't got a big enough support system to block what's coming. You can reverse it, though, if y'all stop acting like assholes with people. If you try to find solutions that are a bit more compassionate for your issues. You know what I'm saying? Stop acting like these people are all bad people because they didn't follow a law that shouldn't be as difficult to follow in the first freaking place. Give these people better opportunities to become citizens, or make it so that they don't have to in order to live here with their families. Stop separating people because they're from over there. Got kids sitting in cages and stuff like that. You think you're getting away with that, America? And a lot of people say, well, Obama put them kids in the cages. You think I care? I don't care which one of y'all put them kids in them cages. The point is you put them in the cages. It was wrong. I don't give a damn which one of you Americans did that. It was wrong. And the fact that we can't seem to come together on a united front to admit that that is wrong and that those people shouldn't be vilified or separated from their families because they come from down there, if we can't come around to seeing that, we're doomed anyway. So that's what I got to say, man. It was time for me to get up here and say something like this. I am passionate about this conversation, but ignorant about it too, as it pertains to the threats that y'all are afraid of. I just don't see it. I've been here all my life, and I've known people who've died at the hands of Mexican people. I've known people who've lived because a Mexican person saved them. There's good and bad everywhere. You don't have to treat them people like that. You ain't gotta say, well, yeah, we kind of care, but they should have followed our laws. No, your laws shouldn't have been so difficult to follow, my friend. You're wrong, America. You're wrong. And you're not protecting yourself from what it is you're afraid of. You're creating more enemies. You better know it. My name is BDF44, and that's pretty much all I have to say, man. Thanks for watching.